Cleco Cajun, as I said earlier, is our unregulated arm, and it consists of 4 sites here in Louisiana. We underwent a transition of migrating that data from the NRG SAP system into the Cleco system. So we just completed that in June. Even though it was an SAP system, it wasn't S4HANA. They were in the process of migrating their system over to S4HANA. We did make a lot of changes in the system. Utopia was, great in the field at using the tool they had for data collection in the field. I think it's important that you have somebody with them. They know where the equipment is, they know the history of it, they know where they can find the documentation, the instruction manuals, drawings, what have you. So if you're planning an undertaking like this, make sure you have some of your people that can help to support Utopia in the field. That makes the process run so much easier, so much smoother, and is a huge time saver. We're starting to look at KPIs. That's one of the first steps, is deciding, how do I use this system, this SAP system now, to better run the business? How do I make better decisions on O&M spend, on capital spend? Why do I have reliability issues that I need to either put a maintenance plan in place, change the frequency of that maintenance plan, or maybe not do it because I've got a piece of equipment that's reliable that maybe I can back off on this an expensive maintenance plan to implement. So without having good data, both master data, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a minute, and transactional data, that I can use that data to generate these KPIs and decide what levers do I need to pull to operate the business more effectively. We factor in a number of things. One of the things we factor in is a KPI we call asset health. What is the health of that asset? That's just something we're starting to embark on. So doing things like gauging the life, where is an asset in its life, in its overall life cycle? Let's say a transformer, for instance. That transformer, what's the maintenance history look like? How many work orders have been written? What type of work orders were they? Were they preventative maintenance work orders, or were they reactive maintenance work orders? So all of those factor into the health of that asset, and then we use that health index to help us make decisions on which should we target replacement of that asset, or do we need to do additional testing, to further determine, what is the overall condition of that asset. So having those things, which is, some part SAP, some part field testing, to get an overall general health of that asset, are very important in gauging its life cycle. And when is the opportune time for me to replace that asset? Yeah, during this SAP integration through Utopia, we engaged another party called MaxGrip that helped us come up with some predictive maintenance strategies based upon asset type. What testing should I be doing on this piece of equipment? Whether that's vibration analysis, oil analysis, performance testing, infrared, any of those technologies to help us assess the condition of that equipment from a predictive maintenance standpoint. So we're, trying to migrate from a preventative condition to a more condition-based maintenance strategy. I mean, that's the point. That's the objective here. But one thing I want to stress is, sustainability. It's one thing that we spend all this time and effort to clean that data, but data is constantly changing. We're always changing out equipment. We're always having to institute, for instance, a technical information letter on a piece of equipment that we receive from a manufacturer. It's having the organization in place to sustain the governance of that data and the systems and the business rules to do that. We're in the process of getting ready to implement MDG. So just because you said, hey, I've cleaned up my data on the front end, you've got to sustain that to keep it, because you spend all this time and effort if you go in to clean up data. And if you just let that go by the wayside, then you're back in the same boat again. If you can't believe the data, then you can't use the system to generate results and improve the business.